Are we rolling?
Yes. Yes, we are
okay.
rolling. When I say I am going to start recording. Oh,
I'm just making sure.
Matthew. So much
We need like one of those little. I need to buy one of the little clapper things for like, and I can write like the episode name and like number on it and be like, action.
That, or Joe needs to do that, recording in 3, 2, and then he points instead of saying 1.
How much does a movie clap? How much does a clapperboard cost?
I bet like a good, like, that must be like expensive.
Oh, it's like
right?
$20. I'm gonna buy
really?
one of these right now. Yeah.
Oh,
Props.
I kind of want one just because it's cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's actually useful too because you can like use it to color balance too.
Oh, that's probably what that's for, huh?
I'm
It's
literally
to
buying
help.
one, right?
It also helps sync the audio.
Yeah. I know that's like the main aspect, but I never realized that the different colored stripes has a full grayscale and everything, so you can color balance. Huh. I literally just bought one.
That makes it. That makes a ton of
$20.
sense, actually. That's pretty cool.
So, are either of you guys board gaming fans at all?
What game? What was that? Sorry.
Board games? Do you guys like board games at all?
I like board games. I wouldn't say I'm like I'm not in the hobby,
In
but
the fandom.
Okay. So my roommate and I have been getting more and more into it. There's a game that I kickstarted like 2 years ago called Moonrakers. The box is huge. Okay. It's already pretty large. Fun game. Not as fun as I was hoping, unfortunately. But the developers apparently noticed agreed because they just came out with 3 expansions all at the same time, also for Kickstarter stuff. And they're like, hey, it's a deck building game. And you want to keep all your cards in the same box. So we're going to give you a bigger box called the Titan box that keeps all your cards in it that you can put the original game in. Except it's goddamn huge. Look at how big this is.
Oh
it literally doesn't fit on any shelf in my house anywhere.
Oh my god.
It's so huge. And for reference, this is Scythe, which is a pretty goddamn big board game. And it's bigger. Scythe barely fits on our board game shelf, and now the Moonrakers one literally doesn't fit anywhere. So I don't know where to put this board game at. So,
whoa!
And also holding both of those up with one hand was very heavy.
Get your workout in.
Yeah.
Wow! Oh my god! That's
I guess
kind of impressive.
It's like an under the couch game.
Oh
You slide it under the couch, maybe.
I gotta open this.
That was awesome.
Good quality.
Excuse me.
There's so much stuff in this box. This is now a board gaming unboxing
People listening right now have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
All these different
people
boards.
Listening, Matt didn't just rip ass. That was the box.
These are all different boards.
Okay.
All the different game pieces.
Right.
And then they planned ahead because they have room for more expansions, but there's all the cards too. It's insane. I don't know where I'm going to put this.
So. Right.
And it's not that fun. Not as fun as you thought it would be.
Well, so here's the thing. So my initial reaction to it was to go board game geek for a second. I thought it was supposed to be like Munchkin in Space, which is a game about screwing each other over.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem with this game is it doesn't really incentivize working together or giving you chances to screw over the other players.
Mm-hmm.
And the expansions do. So in theory,
it should make it more fun for you.
Yeah, it's not a bad game.
No,
it's just kind of like, oh,
that wasn't a great use of words. My part.
That's right.
I know it's all right.
Yeah, so I got to figure out where I'm going to put this goddamn box. So, anyway, that was my cold open.
Man, that's a bit. That box is box is obscene.
Yeah, yeah. Like when it came, I had an idea of like how big it was going to be, and then when I opened the package, and I was like, oh my god, okay.
I wonder how much that costs to ship.
I don't know if I still have the receipt. I could check, but I don't know where it is. So
we'll see if we can get that in post. Maybe, probably not. But hey, you never know. You never know what we might do here on the Fake Racers Podcast. Speaking of which, this is the Fake Racers Podcast. Back with you for another wild and wacky episode this week.
Wild and wacky. That's how we like it here.
Already can tell you folks that we are clueless about what happened this weekend. I
was just about to ask. I just realized I don't have a show sheet link. I'm looking right now.
It's In the
Yay.
folder.
In the fake racers folder on Google Drive.
Drive.
Not Docs anymore.
There's a sheet now.
It's a sheet.
I can put time codes on it that I don't use at all for anything.
Some might even say that it's a piece of sheet. So
some might say that. Some.
Hell, I took a sheet right before the podcast.
You did. Some would say that this weekend of racing was weird.
There was some weird. I think
bit.
I personally, real quick, let's just start it off. I think it's weird anytime that the trucks have a standalone event that's at 1.5 miles. Which I know that doesn't happen. Like, that's a very specific thing. I think that's weird. I don't think that should happen.
No, not
Trucks
anymore.
already-
At least
Trucks already, like, I feel like need to tone down the amount of 1.5 miles, which has been an argument for decades, so we don't have to go into it. But they definitely don't need to be going to 1.5 miles when every other series is not at the same racetrack, because it just makes no sense.
the other series are at a short track.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. Like, logistically, it makes no sense. It's like the truck series, there's so many cup teams, or so many cup crew members work the truck series event, spotters. Like, it's like a logistical nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
The Cup Series
the cup series
Yeah, speaking of which.
was at Richmond.
had its fair share of things.
It was a good little race. Kyle Larson won.
It was
Martin Truex probably shoulda, coulda, woulda won, but they decided to take tires an extra time early in the race and didn't have a set at the end
right.
when they
And
needed them.
it's like this race was good for showing improvement for the next gen at short tracks, right? I still think this race was, there's like I guess we're never going to get rid of that aero dependency, but it was a step in the right direction compared to other short tracks or even last year's Richmond races.
Definitely a step in the right direction compared to Phoenix, but I think that's just a different issue altogether with Phoenix.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Agreed.
Josh Berry finished second. Great call by the crew there, probably by Alan Gustafson back home at the Hendrick War Room. We'll get into that later. But they stay out. Caution comes out. Michael McDowell also does something similar and gains a bunch of track position. Berry able to capitalize on it very well. And some would say very well. And
Get out. We can do the show without you.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Try it.
Joe, I'm going to need the elements. I'm going to need the OBS stuff they use to record. And yeah.
But Josh Berry's second place run, I think this is kind of like what everyone wanted out of his stint. If you can't get a win, at least get some good finishes. Show folks that, you can do it. Obviously, he can. They were at a loss for track position most of the race. So,
track position was super important. I mean, it's Richmond, so yeah, but track position was super important on Sunday. You could tell. You could tell a lot of cars that ended up in the back. That's where they raced most of the day.
Well, with qualifying getting rained out, and Barry obviously wasn't in the car last week at COTA, so part of that algorithm is where the driver finishes.
Yeah.
And, guess what? He didn't finish because he didn't race.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a cool post-race moment where Jeff Gordon told him that he's like, hey, you've got a future in Cup or whatever, so...
Yeah, I don't care.
That's cool. I mean, that's cool, but yeah.
I
think it's cool.
I think I don't like Jeff Gordon. I don't like Chad Knaus.
I don't mind Jeff Gordon. You're weird for that. I don't mind Jeff Gordon.
I'm not weird for that.
Yeah, you are.
We'll talk about it.
You should be like peak Chad Knaus fan, Mr. Engineer, friggin' like knows all the things about engineer stuff. Talking about, dang old man, get up on there, get up in.
I like engineering. I don't like liars, Davey. I don't like liars.
This is a sport of politics. Like, there's gonna be people who lie.
I was literally just about to make a joke. We're like, no, he's not an engineer. He's a cheater.
Brad Keselowski's only ever told the truth, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
My bad. Oh man.
Christopher Bell just absolutely dumped the crap out of William Byron. That was funny.
And then
blamed it on Ross Chastain.
Post race about it, and I think he ended up apologizing for that.
No, okay. He apologized to Byron.
Oh,
he didn't apologize to Ross.
I thought
No.
I could have swore he said later on that he was like, "Oh, I made a mistake and Ross didn't get into me." Now I gotta check this. Hang on.
It was a tweet he sent out. He pretty much said, "Yeah, I looked at the tape. Sorry to William Byron."
Let me look real quick. I did see that though. I thought it was funny.
I mean, Christopher Bell's very clearly wrong.
Oh yeah. Okay, so it's after watching the replay, I saw there was much more room than what I thought in the heat of the moment. Sorry, William Byron. So he's not going to say, sorry, I threw you under the bus, Ross. He's not going to say that, but he is going to say, it was my fault.
He acknowledged that he threw him under the bus too. He was like, yeah, there's more room. Sorry, the other guy though.
Yeah.
like what? Christopher Bell's kind of weird, so that doesn't really surprise me. Also, it's like, in this, we had this discussion last year. We were ahead of the curve on this one, but Ross Chastain becoming the scapegoat is, yeah. I mean,
it's quite literally talking about it last week.
It's funny. Don't get me wrong, but I think again, it's just so weird and misplaced. Ross Chastain does enough to blame him for. We don't have to attribute things that he doesn't do.
Dude was being aggressive, but he didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, it was literally like the one time we were like, oh, okay. Which, again, this is funny because this is going to be a topic that we're going to talk about later as well when we get to the truck race. But yeah, it was just fun. We got a lot of really good memes out of it, too. So I really wanted to Photoshop him nerfing Alan Prost in the 90 Japanese Grand Prix in the first corner.
I feel like only 2 people reacted to it because I'm like, I don't know. I kill conversations. But anyway, I thought I made a pretty good one the other day or yesterday with Ross Chastain.
I thought I saw it, but I can't remember.
I'm not sure if
was it the square?
Yeah. Where he's like standing on top of his car with the watermelon over his head, about to throw it down on that dude.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
You did what?
Don't worry about it. I'll show you after the show. You don't have to put this anywhere.
Oh my god.
I guess this show isn't going to be approved for use in China. It sounds like so.
Well, it's a fake event, right?
Oh,
true. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, we're back on the board now.
Give me all that sponsorship money.
Does Husky Chocolate sell in China? Who knows?
They might, honestly. Tire wear and low downforce, they're good. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Weird. It's like, I mean, I know this is really unprecedented. No one's been saying that ever. Like that tire wear and low downforce makes for a good race. I know it's like kind of out of the blue that this kind of became a thing that everyone realized, but I'm glad that it's finally starting to see some light in popular circles and a little bit of popularity now that it's, putting on good races. Again, no one could have seen that one coming. So
yeah, I think we need to get more people talking about this.
Yeah, 100%.
NASCAR Xfinity Series, Chandler Smith gets his first career win at Richmond.
Good race as well.
Great race. I was watching it from the stands in the big house though, so I don't have much other than that to say.
Good win for Chandler Smith. Really good on the long run, which was always
kind of the reverse of what happened at Vegas.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I was like, I also think he was getting ran down at the end of this race a little bit too, but he was good enough.
It's a little bit easier to kind of, I think, block runs on a short track than a mile and a half too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Want to just turn our attention to Kaulig as a whole. Does this start putting pressure on Daniel Hemrick to do something?
I can't speak.
I was gonna say, I think that pressure's been on for a while, so
that doesn't look like it.
But at the same time, too, like Chandler Smith is the only Kaulig guy doing anything. Like their cup program is in the dumpster right now, too. Like Allmendinger was terrible on Sunday. Obviously, there's the penalty to Justin Haley.
Now that's appeals Wednesday. That's gonna be fun. I've heard a lot of talk about how they're kind of overextending themselves too, which is frustrating. I think
they're trying to run a third cup team part time, and they can't even get the two running great, which is, like you said, frustrating. So
yeah, but I sense like a lot of optimism from people in the Kaulig camp as well with that. Like it doesn't seem like anyone at Kaulig is particularly like, not worried. That they're bothered that they're not going fast, but they're like they're not worried. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah, I don't think this is like, oh man, they're gonna kill the team by doing this. They got plenty of funding. They got lots of talent. It's just like I think they're finding out that expanding to 5 and sometimes 6 cars per weekend is not very easy.
Yeah.
So.
Plus,
And
I was gonna say the Indy win a couple of years ago maybe made expectations a little higher.
Yeah, that
subconsciously
too.
even.
Yeah. And let's not act like that can't happen again. I mean, AJ Allmendinger can.
Oh, he was a threat.
They bring a good piece to any road course. AJ Allmendinger is going to be a threat to win.
He already said that he's going to be a huge threat this weekend at Bristol Dirt in his press conference. So,
I missed something with that. I don't know what that
was a joke.
Oh yeah.
When they asked him why he went back to Cup, he was like, "Yeah, for the Bristol Dirt race."
That's awesome.
Also, a quick tangent because I was googling AJ to bring up his results from this year. I totally forgot. Like 3 weeks ago, I found an old Supercross race that he did commentary for some reason. And I don't know why. And I was like, is this AJ in the booth? And then somebody said AJ. I was like, what the hell?
Was it in Atlanta?
It might have been. I can't remember.
I know that they were in Atlanta at the same time. For a few years
it was a few years ago, yeah. Oh my god, I wish I could remember what race it was, but it was really funny, yeah.
Shout out colleague racing. Congrats on the trophy. 2 trophies in a row in the Xfinity Series.
Soon they'll get rid of the dead weight and put someone in that 11 car.
We completely glossed over the fact that AJ did win last week in the Xfinity Series.
I totally forgot about that, yeah.
And Kyle Busch has been good in the colleague car every week. I mean, it's Kyle Busch, but like still.
Really, there's only one person that's the problem, and I like that driver, so that's unfortunate.
Oh, I finished 24th. Did something happen?
Speaking of a weird driver, Davey, you go ahead and take the lead here because I know he's your favorite.
No, I'm not gonna be too mean because Carson Hocevar got his first truck win. At Texas standalone event we were talking about earlier. I give him a lot of grief, and I was giving him some grief earlier before we started recording for wrecking the leaders. I don't think he wrecked the leaders. I think it was a crappy situation, and he's got his first win right in front of him. Are you really gonna lift? No. Like, I understand.
He didn't wreck the leaders. He drove through the leaders.
Again, just I'm not gonna pick on him too much because like. Nick Sanchez was a little sideways coming off. He looked like he got maybe a little air off the spoiler through the dog leg. You get in the trucks at Texas, you get such a huge run. I mean, we see it all the time. The trucks get such a huge run through the dog leg. Like when you're behind someone, the suck up that you get is unreal. So I like the speed differential, everything all combined. Like I get it. I get why that happened. It's hard to ask a driver who is like now 1 for like 60 in truck races as far as getting a win to like, hey, calm down a little bit. You could have lifted it and probably still won the race. Like I'm not, I'll take every opportunity to poop on Carson Hocevar, but I don't think he did anything horribly wrong this week at Texas. It was just a crappy situation. And it really sucks for Nick Sanchez, who dominated that race.
Yeah.
I think historically more than anyone ever has. That was pretty disappointing.
There was a stat I saw. It's the second highest laps led percentage without winning. The highest was Jimmy Hensley in 99, I think it was. Where he led, I think it was 199 of 201 is what it was. He dominated the entire race and then lost on basically a green white checker.
That's awesome.
So, yeah. That sucked for Sanchez. I saw some people like trying to figure out how he basically almost lost it in the straightaway, and it's you hear everybody talk about how like the dog legs at Texas and Charlotte are so difficult because they're way sharper than you expect, and it's also completely flat. And it's like right when he goes up to side draft Zane Smith, it's right as they go through that, and he's just wrecking sideways and then gathers it up, but Hocevar's there. So yeah. It was funny watching everybody in the USRL server though, like even a person like me who's still kind of a fan of Carson Hocevar to watch that happen, and we're like, are you serious? Did he really just do that? And then they finally show a replay and we're like, oh, okay. It wasn't as bad as we thought. So yeah.
Goes back to the point though, trucks probably shouldn't be solo race at 1.5 miles.
Yeah. Agree.
Yeah.
Agree.
Weird event.
It is a little weird.
The way they did it too, they had a competition caution like halfway through the first stage, and they made the first stage like long and the other two stages shorter, so that way they wouldn't have to have a competition caution right in the middle because they had to pit for fuel and tires.
So weird.
So
just go to a short track. Go to Richmond or a track that's nearby. I don't.
South Boston, crazy. Wow.
Whatever. I don't know.
Also, Dean Thompson, bad wreck there. Checked and released from the hospital, not the infield care center. But from my understanding, he is doing okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was scary. Also, Trey Hutchins is like the unluckiest person I've ever seen, because like every single time he gets a truck, it gets absolutely obliterated.
It's not
happened
funny.
to
Who
him at
hit
Charlotte.
the 5? Who hit
was,
the 5 while he was just sitting there? Was it Chris Wright?
Yeah, it might have been. Hang on. I can't remember exactly who it was, but yeah, somebody clobbers him because they like clip the grass and were out of control, and then Hutchins gets run over and just pile driven into him as well. So yeah, just ugly all around. Sorry, I'm stalling because I'm trying to find the.
No, you're good. Just ugly all the way around. Like Texas is ugly.
Yeah,
all the way around.
God, when did they show
Texas? It's okay. It's not a big deal. The NTT Data IndyCar Series was also at Texas.
Why'd you drop their government name on us,
I
Joe?
don't know. Joseph Newgarden, what ended up being like a final couple lap pass because of a caution coming out there at the end. Got around Pato O'Ward, wins his second straight race at Texas with a end of the race pass for the lead.
Yeah,
Texas was pretty good.
Yeah, I missed the beginning of this. So was Pato just that much faster than everybody else that he just checked out, or was that like pit strategy?
I can't. I was dozing. I was not having a good Sunday. I was dozing.
Because I saw all the like screen grabs that it was just like he's lapped everybody but second, and I was like, oh damn! And then he was just kind of not there at the end.
Haha, McLaren bad.
Yep.
Fun.
Yeah, no, Newgarden's pretty good at just like coming out of nowhere at the end of these Texas races, though.
Newgarden's just pretty good.
2 years in a row he's done that. This just Newgarden guy might be kind of good. Might have to keep an eye on him.
I've heard about that. That. Future champion?
Maybe. Maybe. I put the question on here because Texas, again, we talk about it way too often, way too much. But can IndyCar save Texas? Because they had a pretty decent crowd there, and supposedly it was way up from last year.
And it was a good race, which
exactly
I can't even really necessarily I can maybe kind of say that about previous Texas IndyCar races. It could. NASCAR certainly isn't going to save it.
Mm-mm.
I mean, for what it's worth, the truck race was half decent, but yeah, the IndyCar race was definitely the better one this week.
Yeah, but that's the thing too, is like the truck race could be a barn burner, and that's not going to move the needle for anyone. I feel like,
it has to be
a good
Cup
IndyCar
Series.
race definitely can.
Maybe get more ovals on the IndyCar schedule.
We're scared of those, Joe.
Yeah.
Oh no, they're so dangerous.
Also, I checked. It was Matt Mills who clobbered Dean Thompson.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Also, we didn't even talk about how much of a complete mess the end of the truck race was. So
we're just gonna gloss over it, just like FS1.
I mean, it's par for the course. It's Truck Series on a big oval. It's gonna happen.
Yep. Especially if there's a late caution, there's gonna be like 6 or 7 more, whatever. You know, these things happen.
So
these things happen.
What are you gonna do? Yeah. More ovals. Give us more ovals, IndyCar, please. Go to Homestead.
I agree, actually.
Go to Michigan.
Oh, go to Homestead, yeah.
Homestead would be pretty sick.
Go to Michigan. Go to Chicagoland. There you go. 3 new ovals. Perfect.
Be down for that. Yeah.
All right, drum roll, please. This is what we really wanted to talk about this week. Hendrick Motorsports has their penalty reduced. The Motorsports Appellate Panel.
Nobody saw that coming.
I can't wait for Colleague to not get their penalty reduced.
Boned.
Yeah, or Collie gets their penalty reduced, and the only person out of that week of penalties to get a points fine is Denny Hamlin, who said something on a podcast. That'd be awesome. That'd be really fun.
Wait, none of us like this, right? Like none of us.
No.
I think we're all in agreement that the points are probably the harshest part of the penalty, and you got rid of it. And the precedent was set last year for this type of penalty for modifications to any single source supplier part.
Yeah.
No one likes this.
I'm just trying to kind of understand what it is because, so like they modify the louvers for the cars
on all 4 cars,
and I'm just trying to understand like why this got turned over or what the like, because I guess Hendrick's argument has been that they didn't race with them. I don't know. That's kind of what I picked.
Their argument is that they were in contact with NASCAR, told NASCAR that they didn't fit, and that they needed to be changed. And NASCAR approved it, but once they got to the track, NASCAR said, no, you can't do that. And if that is the case, and that is what they argued in the appeals process, why not release that information?
Yeah. I guess.
Yeah. I also heard that, like, the main thing with Hendrick is like, oh, it can't, if you don't modify these, the hood can't close or some, like, stuff like that. Where like Colleague was different, where they're like, "Hey, these are different," and they use them anyway, which is like, I think was like the story, or that's what I've heard is the story.
Because that's what I'm reading on this is that NASCAR caught it in pre-race inspection, which I guess
it doesn't matter. Like I don't know why people are getting.
Because then they didn't race an illegal car.
It's not about them racing an illegal car.
But then why should they get a points penalty if
you're
they
not
didn't get
supposed
an advantage in the race?
You're not supposed to modify a single source supplier part. It's a deterrent, so you don't modify it, so you don't bring it to the track, and so you don't use it. That deterrent is now gone, because now what I can do is I can try to cheat if I can somehow get that through tech, and then I can get it through tech again.
Joe, you literally just described the last 70 years of stock car racing history.
Understandable.
I'm just saying I don't disagree with the idea that they should be penalized, but like if you're going to penalize somebody for points, it should be something that because they gained an advantage in a race doing that. And
what about Denny Hamlin's points penalty?
I don't think it should have been a points penalty either, but
that's fair enough.
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird. The whole situation's weird, but to me, it makes sense. I can see why everybody thinks it's Hendrick favoritism, because this does happen a lot with them.
Oh, William Byron.
But, yeah. I don't know. It's just weird. I don't get it. So, you know.
Yeah, and it all like it's kind of like coming back to some of the stuff we've talked about last year with the appeals panel. You know, the appeals panel was like, they broke a rule, but whatever. Like,
yeah. But the penalty's too harsh.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, Matt. I see what you're saying, and on some level I do agree with it, but I do also agree with the fact that it should be a points penalty. Like, it should be. You should be deterred. You should have, like, there should be risk involved with what they were doing. You know, NASCAR gives you the box, and you have to play in the box.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you start to play outside the box, then you should be left vulnerable to whatever ruling NASCAR. I don't know.
I guess I'm just wondering what is the validity of their claim that NASCAR approved the modification beforehand and then caught him for it at the track.
Right.
So, because if that's true, then they have a really strong case. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just weird. So, I don't know. I'm on a case where I'm like, I guess I understand their argument, but I also understand why people are frustrated because, you know, Hendrick does seem to get away with this a lot.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But, yeah.
You cheated, but guess what? Yeah, you don't need that harsh of a penalty. oh, you broke the rule, but penalty's too harsh. What the? I don't get it. You broke a rule. You either break a rule or you don't. You either break a rule or you don't. There's none of this half-assed, halfway in between. Oh, well, you only kind of broke the rule. Oh, sorry, guys. You only kind of broke the rule. Just shut up. It's so dumb. You know, and yeah, Hendrick gets away with it more than anyone else. Probably because they have better lawyers than everyone else, because Rick Hendrick has piles and piles of money and contacts galore. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And Davey, to bring it, when we were talking about Chad Knaus earlier, it has nothing to do with being creative or playing in the gray area, which people like to say. There is no gray area here. That's the difference with this car. There is no gray area. You either modified a spec part or you didn't. You're not allowed to do anything. It's not like when we're building frames and we put them out of line by 1/100th of a mil, and we're gonna get them. We're gonna get an extra 0.00003 counts of drag or downforce. Like it's not that. A lot of it is this mentality that's stuck in the past, and this car and the rules for it are completely different. You either modified a part or you didn't. The only way I can see them, and the reason why I don't think this is the case, and Chad Knaus has said this is the case, that they got approval from NASCAR to do these things. Which, if they got approval, then it shouldn't be a penalty. So why is it still a penalty?
Yeah.
That gets back to that line.
I think that is the big point in all of this is it sounds like NASCAR can't really take a stand on this, because it almost seems like the people at the track didn't get the memo that Hendrick got approved to make those modifications. Like,
or
that's
they
the only
didn't.
Yeah, or it's somebody's not telling the truth, obviously.
Yeah.
Either NASCAR's not telling the truth about like what happened, or Hendrick isn't telling the truth about them being approved. So
who's got more to lose?
I honestly don't know, now that I think about it. Because NASCAR sure doesn't look very good right now. So
who's got more to lose by this penalty being reduced?
Or
who would have lost? Hendrick. Hendrick's the answer. I'll just answer because I don't know how to ask the question. 100-point penalty, a loss of 10 playoff points is a big freaking deal.
Yeah. It is.
How many times have we seen drivers get eliminated from the playoffs by 1 or 2 points?
At least a few.
Yeah. So, I don't care. Motive's there. The reason's there. The reason the motive's there. The means are there.
Honestly, I think the reason, or I think like the most logical reason for why the points penalty got removed is they can't prove that Hendrick ever raced with them. So, because if it never hit the track, then I guess you can't take away points for that. So,
I want to have like a strong opinion. I want to have like, it's hard to have a strong opinion when you don't have all the answers. I think.
Yeah.
Penalty probably should have stood, given the way the rule book's written.
Given the history of the rule book,
probably should have stood.
Yeah.
But we will probably never know all the truths.
No, because Hendrick's not going to say that, and NASCAR, in their eyes, has probably already said the truth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hendrick's just like,
They don't need to. They
Right.
don't need to say the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of those. This will be a fun NASCAR history factoid in like 20 years.
I was going to say, can't wait for the Dale Jr. download in 15 years when they talk about this.
they talk to Chad Knaus and Greg Ives.
It's gonna be like Dale Jr. download uncovered. Like,
Did you know those parts were gonna get caught? Oh yeah, we were
brought
cheating. We were
Dale
cheating.
Jr.'s.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we brought in a correct hood louver. Now, Chad, take out the one you had at the track. And it's gonna be like totally different.
Reminds me of the Jeff Gordon car that had like the blatantly illegal front bumper that NASCAR was like losing their minds over, and they're like, good thing they didn't look at all the other illegal stuff we had on the car.
Yeah. Which is a thing.
It's I don't. I'm so frustrated by this, and I shouldn't be. I'm so frustrated by it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be funny when colleagues' penalty gets upheld. That's
I think people are gonna throw like shit fits, man. If
that's the thing, is I have a feeling it's gonna happen, because while I've been reading about this, like while I've been recording, is that colleagues' penalty is not the exact same scenario that Hendrick had. So like, and that's something that people are not gonna want to look into, and so it's just gonna be like, there's blatant favoritism. Not to say that there isn't, but yeah.
Well, from everything colleague has released, is they've said no, we haven't done anything, and that's how we received the part.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where Hendrick said we received bad parts and we had to make them good parts.
Yeah.
So,
which is funny to think that like Hendrick couldn't afford different ones. They're like, oh, we just got to work with what we got.
Oh, it's crazy how they had hood louvers on their cars the rest of the weekend.
Also, like this is something that I listened to I listened to on Door Bumper Clear, and like they had Chandler Smith on, and Chandler Smith and Freddie Kraft, who like obviously work closely with a lot of colleague drivers. They were both like, yeah, I don't think colleague actually has like the means to actually modify any of the parts anyway. So like, there's no way we could have. We don't have the machines to do it. Whereas obviously a shop like Hendrick kind of would,
Yep.
I'm angry.
But...
I was also angry seeing all the crew chief comments about how now it's the wild, wild west again. So that was cool. That's not good, folks. That's not good. I know everyone likes to talk about their cheating stock cars, but that's not good. That's not what this car is supposed to be. So
it'll be fun. It'll be fun, Joe.
It's going to give us plenty to talk about over the summer.
I was going to say, it is funny though that was like the kind of the deterrent was like, we're going to make it all one make, and we still have RFK and Gibbs have both gotten DQ'd post race in the last year. RFK multiple times, front row, Hendrick, like they're not changing. It's going to keep happening.
Well, Hendrick hasn't had any penalty for anything that they've done wrong, whether it be a crew member or a driver. So,
yeah,
don't care.
That's a good point.
Hey, William Byron, you just wrecked Denny Hamlin under caution. Well, the rule doesn't say that you can take points away. It says you could take points away. Therefore,
speaking of that,
here's a crisp $5 bill.
Did you guys see that Daniel Suarez was saying that he doesn't, like, he was basically saying, he's like, I don't understand why everybody was so mad at me after Coda. Like, I don't think I did anything wrong on pit road. And I was like, Daniel, come on.
Daniel, this is not the time.
Come on, bro. I love you.
Let's figure it out, man.
Clean it up.
God damn.
Oh, Daniel Suarez had a really good first weekend at the Bristol Dirt Race.
He did.
Oh, yeah.
We got Bristol Dirt Race this weekend on Easter. Oh, boy.
Ew.
Folks in the industry are not happy.
Yeah, no one is. No one is. Why are we racing on Easter?
Because it's Sunday night and that's what Fox wants, because there's nothing else on TV.
Good point.
So
I mean, I know that's why, but I don't know.
Growth of the sport. It could be Saturday night, I feel like, and be okay.
Yeah.
They don't want to go head to head with the Masters either.
Oh, yeah.
Masters are this weekend. I don't know. I don't like golf, so whatever. Trucks on Saturday night under the lights.
Oh man, trucks on Saturday night under the lights.
What do you guys got?
Getting the entry list open right now. This is J-Ski gets more usage out of me on recording nights than it ever does any other time. I love it.
Did I pick Haley for the truck race last week?
I have no idea. Couldn't tell you off the top of my head. You'd have to look at the chart. Shout out to her. Top 10 finish.
Yeah.
Yeah, she ran good. She ran really well.
No, Davey stole Haley Deegan from me. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Hey, yo.
I will not be picking her then, because it doesn't work when I do it. So
I got to go Parker Kligerman in the truck. So
I'm going to take... Oh, my God. Who am I going to take? I'll take Briscoe.
I
He's
guess
22, by the way, in case you're wondering.
Yeah, I knew that because I memorized it. I'm gonna take Joey Logano. I think he's in the 66.
He is.
Yeah.
Look at
None
that.
of us picking truck drivers.
William Byron's in this race too.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't like him. Not a William Byron fan right now.
No.
I laughed when Bell dumped him, and I shouldn't do that. That's not very nice of me. But I audibly laughed while I was watching the race by myself. So
You know, dumping someone under caution also isn't very nice. So.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
Who you guys?
That's coming from a dedicated Denny Hamlin hater too.
Who you guys got for the Cup Series race?
Who do I got for the Cup?
This race is always a toss-up, man.
It's pretty much. Did you start in the top 10? You might have a good chance to win. We'll see.
It's a toss-up. I'm gonna go.
Maybe it'll rain again. We don't know.
I'm gonna go. Obviously, Tyler Reddick was a big hand in this, but the 8 car almost won last year. I'm gonna go Kyle Busch.
Kyle Busch won last year.
That's exactly.
Yeah,
It's a winning combination.
That's the Subway winning combination for the race.
I'm gonna take the basic bitch pick, and I'll just take Kyle Larson. So.
Boo! Boo!
I'm gonna take that Chase Briscoe.
Boo!
For no other reason but like, I don't know. I feel like SHR has to do something here with the car other than the
balls.
four.
God, they've been so bad this year.
Priest was actually running pretty well on Sunday. I think I don't know what happened. He had a mishap that put him back in the field.
He
didn't
remembered
finish
he was in
horrible,
the SHR 41 car.
but that's true. Yeah.
Hey, Briscoe finished 12th. Okay.
But yeah, Priest was
Top
running
20.
pretty well. I was keeping track of it. I think Priest ended up finishing okay, but
Yeah, P18.
oh god, not as okay as I thought. He was running better than that. Damn it! I'm like, oh well.
Me watching Brad most weeks. Damn, he was running. I thought he could have swore he was running like 12th all race. Why is he 22nd?
Dude, that was me with Jimmy Johnson in 2020.
God, where did Brad finish? I can't even
He
find
finished
might have
10th.
Might have a top 10 here.
Oh, there he is.
And then we get like a pit stop and we're back in 22nd. I'm like, oh, okay. That's awesome. Shuffled out of like 3 restarts.
Eric Jones enjoyer happy with a top 20, and then all of a sudden he's finishing 32nd behind both Ware cars. Thanks,
Dude,
legacy.
it's literally Junior's last Cup season. I was just like, I saw him this week. There he is. He got TV time.
That's crazy.
It was bad. It was really bad.
That's crazy to think about, man. Like,
There's always, okay, real quick. There's always one guy at this Bristol Dirt races that has like a nightmare race. Always one.
Christopher Bell.
Christopher Bell, you think Christopher Bell?
He's got like the juju going at him right now.
I love it because it's like the same guy every caution for like a year, and then like it changed last year to someone else. I loved it. It was great. I can't wait to see who is the guy that gets caught up in everything. It's gonna be someone like it's
Denny Hamlin.
No, it's not gonna be Denny Hamlin. I have a strong case about Ricky Stenhouse potentially.
I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of leaning towards Stenhouse.
Like Ricky Stenhouse. Ty Dillon is like obvious material.
Yeah.
Ty Dillon.
And there's potential for like a, like a pretty popular driver, like a Austin Dillon, or, it could.
What?
It would be really funny if it was Ty Dillon.
Who's our disaster class pick of the
Yeah, who are you picking to have an awful race?
The disaster class pick. I gotta go with Ricky Stenhouse.
It's hard to not pick Ryan Blaney every week. I'm gonna take Blaney. He'll be my first disaster class pick because it was a disaster at Richmond. So,
but he's exactly the kind of guy who would have a disaster at like Richmond, which is a track he's typically pretty fast at, and then be really good for some reason Bristol Dirt. It's like totally in his wheelhouse to do that too.
I think Harrison Burton would be a good pick too. It's not been pretty recently.
Harrison Burton's got to figure it out, man.
Yeah.
I thought he was for a little bit. He kind of had like glimmers of hope, and then
like honestly, we need to just not see Harrison Burton for a few weeks. Like if he's just not on TV, we'll be like, oh, all right. So it's like all I've seen of him recently is crashing or like completely getting in the way while getting lapped this week.
I mean, is the pressure on him, right? Do we think the pressure's starting to get on him?
I think so.
Must be.
Don't know if Ford's got anyone else to put in that car, but they didn't have anyone else to put in that car when he got put in it. So yeah,
Haley Deegan.
Oof.
I was gonna say Zane Smith, but I forgot he's already got one leg in the 38. So
Don't get us started, folks. Again,
oh, it's gonna be Todd next year. That's who it's gonna be.
Could you imagine? Might be an upgrade. Might be a downgrade. We don't know.
Who knows?
All this and more next year on NASCAR.
Watch it be something completely off the wall, like Matt Crafton.
Don't say that.
Can you imagine Matt Crafton finally gets to run like a full year in Cup
Oh my god.
with Menards?
It's gonna be Matt Mills. Like,
Folks, before we say anything else pretty dumb, make sure you follow us at Fake Racers on Twitter, at Johto Network on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. You can follow Davey Hazard at all his links. We got him down in the video description below at D7H5 or with an ER at the end on Twitch, at D7H5 on Instagram, and at Davey Hazard on Twitter. That's not brand uniformity. That's just Davey's brain. Matt Steelman at MSteelman51 on Twitter.
That's me.
And I told you all the Johto Network links, so please follow those. Don't follow me. You don't want to follow me.
follow Joe Talansky on Twitter.
Nope.
He gets mad about Michigan sports or something, and then also the other thing.
Yeah. Shout out to the Michigan hockey boys. Frozen 4 this week. Looking forward to that. It's going to be fun. They're down in Tampa. Wish I was down in Tampa, but I am not. Here come the Tornadoes, boys. Folks, again, as always, can't thank you enough for watching.
That's right. You're
listening.
gonna get weathered. Yeah.
Yeah. Can't wait to see all the reactions this week. Tell us what you thought about this week's episode down in the video description, or down in the comments below, or the video description. I guess if you can edit that, that'd be pretty sick.
Yeah.
Figure it out. Have at it.
We don't know what we're doing.
It's free real estate.
The key is under the mat.
Maybe you can make the tweet for me since I keep forgetting.
Yeah, so if someone could do that, that would be awesome.
I'm sorry.
But again, folks, we can't thank you enough for all the support. Been rocking it over on YouTube compared to what we've been doing in years past. So keep that up. Keep watching. Make sure you're following us on our TikTok. We're going to try to post more shorts here, especially once I graduate in a couple weeks, actually. Hopefully we'll have more time. Maybe we won't. Maybe we will. You never know. Here on the Fake Racers podcast. We'll see you guys next week after a wonderful week from Bristol.
Goodbye.